everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Scorebook Stories. I hope you all are having a great day. Opening day is this week, Thursday. It is going to be a great day. And do not miss a single thing that we have to say about opening day and the entire MLB season all year long. Just give us a follow on Instagram, X, and Facebook. And you can even subscribe to Seven Mountains Sports over on YouTube so you never miss an episode of Scorebook Stories. Today, we are going to dive into a few games that are going to be going down on opening day, and then I'm going to mention some other ones that I just think are need to watch if you get those games. I know watching baseball is overly complicated for some reason, but that's just the way it is, unfortunately. I don't like it, but that's a whole conversation for another day. But I want to kick things off by talking about the Los Angeles Dodgers taking on the Detroit Tigers. The Detroit Tigers, I really think, are going to have a very good season, as we talked about during the AL Central preview. But overall, I think that the Dodgers are still probably going to end up coming away with a win here, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Tigers beat them, mainly because the Dodgers were playing in the Tokyo series again. And last season, they came off a little bit of a slow start after that. With the roster that they have this season, I really don't anticipate a slow start at all. According to ESPN, Freddie Freeman is out for right now. I don't think Freddie Freeman is going to be missing opening day at all. It's not going to happen. I really don't believe that whatsoever. I think he's going to be ready and back in the lineup on opening day. So if you were worried about Freddie Freeman or if you drafted him in your fantasy league, he's going to be there. He's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. The Tigers are a team that has some really high hopes for this season, and they're going to have a real test right out of the gate with the defending World Series champions. Right now, Scooble is going to be getting the ball on opening day on the road in Dodger Stadium. The Tigers have a Cy Young Award winner in their rotation in Scooble. He's so good. I think he's a very dominant pitcher, and I really think that he is going to win at least one Cy Young over the course of his career. If the Dodgers are a little bit off, I really think that the Tigers could steal this one from them. The Dodgers have not named a starter for this game, but as of recording anyway, when you're listening to this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there probably will be a starter named, but as of recording here Sunday afternoon, there is no starter named for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I think it's likely to be Blake Snell or Tyler Glasnow, since Roki Sasaki and Yamamoto both got starts over in Japan for the Tokyo series, where they went 2-0 and beat the Cubs. But overall, I think this could be a weird game for Dodgers fans to watch, just because they already have 2 games under their belt and they have weird travel and everything. So it could end up being a little weird for the Dodgers, but I think that it's going to be a very, very good game with Blake Snell on the mound if he ends up getting the start, and watching Scooble pitch is always a treat. Next up, we are going to dive into the team that lost the World Series, the New York Yankees, my favorite team. They're going to be taking on the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Yankees are the vibe is just completely different now than it was before spring training. During the offseason, they're making the moves that they needed to make, and it's a weird feeling, and it's a completely different team right now than what I did the AL East preview a few weeks ago. Garrett Cole had Tommy John surgery. He's going to miss the entire season. Giancarlo Stanton is dealing with a calf strain as well as tennis elbow in both elbows. I'm not sure how that really happens. Luis Heel is going to miss probably about 3 months with a lat injury. Clark Schmidt is going to be out with a shoulder injury, likely hitting the 15-day DL if they did not designate him for that already. DJ LeMahieu is out with a shoulder injury and a calf strain. Cousins, Efstron, Hamilton, and Loizaga are also out with some kind of injury. So now the bullpen is pretty much entirely hurt. There's 2 new arms in the starting rotation, and the projected roster before spring training is completely different than what the projected roster is now. I will say the bats in the lineup are still New York Yankee caliber and a little bit scary till we get down to like 7, 8, 9. But overall, I think that they're going to have an all right time at the plate. I don't see them really struggling too much there. But once you get into like Ben Rice and those kind of guys, it could be hit or miss with them. That was not a pun. But I think those guys at the bottom of the lineup is going to be a little shaky for a good portion of the time. But the Brewers look to have a very, very young roster, and they're all pretty healthy. And they're all going to be around Christian Yelich and Rhys Hoskins, who are going to be the leaders. They're going to be a fun team to watch. I really think that they have a good chance of taking the NL Central for Milwaukee. It's going to be a really good game, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees fall to the Brewers to get their season underway if the Yankees lineup is kind of quiet. I really think the vibes are just down in that locker room with all the injuries that they have, and that kind of situation can really hurt a team. Rodon's going to be getting the start for the Yankees on opening day, and I think he's going to be a key piece in winning this game for the Yankees. Obviously, the pitcher is very important when it comes to winning ball games, but I think more so than typical baseball strategy, Rodon and the way that Aaron Boone uses the bullpen is going to be a huge factor into the outcome of this ball game. But overall, I do think this is going to be a fun game to watch. Hopefully the Yankees are able to come away with a win as a fan, just because things are great when the Dodgers and the Yankees are winning ball games, just because I think it makes baseball more fun. I love it. I love the Yankees. I really not a huge fan of the Dodgers, but I love so many players on the Dodgers. So it's really hard to not like the Dodgers. But they embarrassed the New York Yankees in the World Series last year. So I can't get over it. Anyway, two teams that have struggled in recent years are the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Miami Marlins, who have two absolute studs going out onto the mound on opening day. Paul Skeens will be on the mound for the Pirates. If you have not watched Paul Skeens pitch, you have got to tune in to this game. I don't know how you're going to find it, but you need to find it. This game is going to be great. Paul Skeens pitching is unbelievable. He is literally like a cheat code. He throws everything out of the same tunnel, and it moves to every quadrant of the strike zone. And he's throwing a fastball over 100 miles an hour. It's not fair, like at all. But Pittsburgh, I think their rotation overall is great. I think it's going to be a very good rotation, and it has a lot of potential to be dominant if the offense could get them run support. That's the big thing here. Are the Pirates going to be able to get enough run support to manage a winning season? I don't know. Miami is going to run Sandy Alcantara out onto the mound, and he is another guy who is absolutely dominant. A lot of what I just said about Paul Skeens kind of echoes the same for Sandy. He is unbelievable, and I really think that they have potential to start this season successful, but it's going to be a matter of staying healthy and remaining consistent in order to have a successful season. I think both of these teams probably are going to end up having a month or two that are pretty solid and impressive, but is it going to be enough to sustain over the entire season? I don't think so. Usually it's not. And mainly that is because the bullpen lets them down. Looking at the projected lineups, I think this game is literally going to be between Skeens and Alcantara. That's all this is going to be. If you love pitching and you love defensive baseball, this is the game that you're going to want to watch. Miami doesn't really have the offensive power that is going to be perceived as a threat to Paul Skeens, and Pittsburgh doesn't have the offensive lineup that is going to be perceived as a threat to Sandy Alcantara as well. It's just they don't have the guys. It's going to be whose defensive players make a mistake first. That is who's going to win this game. That's it. It's going to be a epic pitching battle. Sandy and Paul are probably going to each go about, I don't know, probably 6 to 7 innings each, maybe a little less depending on how much work they got off the field in spring training and how conditioned they are and how ready to go for the season they are. But overall, this is going to be a pitching battle that I can't wait to watch. Next, I want to dive into my hometown team. Well, kind of, sort of. Not far away from hometown team, the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Washington Nationals. The Phillies are a slightly upgraded version of what we saw last year. The additions that they made could help them be a little bit better in some games, depending on where the game's at and where those players are being used. Zach Wheeler is going to be getting the start on opening day, and he will most likely continue his Cy Young level performance. He is dominant, and it is kind of criminal that he has never won a Cy Young award. I don't understand how that has been allowed. He's absolutely dominant. He's one of the best pitchers to ever step foot out on the field in today's game. But either way, the reason I really wanted to talk about this game is because Washington looks so much different this year. And there's a lot of young guys with a very high ceiling that I'm excited to watch take the field this year. A 26-year-old future Cy Young winner, most likely, is starting for Washington in Mackenzie Gore. Now, Mackenzie Gore really is a dominant pitcher. I don't think he has shown it frequently or consistently enough over the past 2-3 years, I believe. His short time in the MLB, I don't think he has shown it on a consistent level, but you see flashes, and I really think that he is going to be an absolute beast once he manages to become a little bit more consistent. Also on this Nationals lineup, I really, really like Dylan Cruz, James Wood, and CJ Abrams in the field and at the plate. They both are incredible. Dylan Cruz is one of the fastest people I think I've seen on a baseball field in a long time. He is quick. I enjoy watching him, and I think I'd like to watch him and Trey Turner race around the bases. Remember in Little League that drill you do where you stand at other batters' boxes and one person goes first to home and the other goes third to home and see who wins. I'd like to see those two do that drill. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Either way, they also made some big improvements at first base and DH with Josh Bell and Nathaniel Lowe. I think this team is going to steal a lot of wins from teams in some series over the rest of this season. I do think that this is still going to be a little bit of a rough season for Washington. They're going to steal more wins. They're going to perform a lot better than they did last year. But I think these young guys are really going to develop and take some really big steps forward. Like, I want you to really watch this game or this whole series between Philadelphia and Washington to start the season. And during the final series of the season, go back and watch another national series and see James Wood, CJ Abrams, and Dylan Cruz all play, and you'll see night and day growth and difference of knowledge of the game and skill at the plate and in the field. I have a feeling that these three, along with some other guys that are going to be in the lineup on opening day, I think you're going to see so much progression in them, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And I think it shows that the Nationals have a lot of promise and a lot of good things will be coming their way in the future, probably in the next 5 years. Something real good is going to happen, a couple playoff appearances, and maybe another World Series. I'm not sure. That's really hard to do. So I'm not going to guarantee that, but I think that they're in a good position to make a push down the line once these guys get a little bit more developed and they bring up a couple more young guys or go out and trade for some more key pieces and more established pitchers and bullpen guys. But overall, I still think that the Nationals are going to have a rocky season. Bottom line, this series is going to be a lot of fun to watch, though. I think it's going to tell us a lot if the Phillies are the same Phillies that they were last year, and they're going to make a push into October and hopefully make a World Series run. That, I think we're going to know a whole lot about what's going to happen this season for both of these teams from this game and this series. Some other games of note that I kind of want to talk about a little bit is the Mets and the Astros. The Mets will be on the road playing in Houston. It will be Juan Soto's debut with the Mets in the regular season. We're going to see real fast if he is worth that amount of money that he was given by New York. Then we have the Red Sox visiting the Rangers. Red Sox visiting the Rangers. Sorry, I'm trying to clear off the screen as I'm going. It's not working the way I want it to. Either way, we have the Red Sox going to the Texas to take on the Rangers. We're going to see Alex Bregman make his regular season debut in a Red Sox uniform, likely at second base. Or at third base. I don't really understand what's going on out there with the Red Sox. There was talk about moving Devers to the outfield. I don't like that move really at all. Also, speaking of players going to the outfield, Jose Altuve is playing left field now. He's been a Gold Glover, All-Star, Silver Slugger, MVP at second base, and we're going to move him to left. Why? That doesn't make any sense to me at all. At all. And Devers to the outfield doesn't make sense to me either. I think Devers is a better third baseman than Alex Bregman. I think he's a better hitter than Alex Bregman. If you really want Alex Bregman's bat in the lineup, DH him. Like, it's that simple. Make him your DH. I don't see why you would move Devers. Like, that move makes no sense to me. Other games that I want to talk about are the Cubs and at the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are expected to win now. They are a great team. They are gritty. They are young. They're fast. They're ready to win, and they want to win now. So I expect them to upset a whole lot of people this year, and I think Kyle Tucker is going to have a tough time in Chicago. I mean, Cody Bellinger was unbelievable, and he played in Chicago for a while. And when he got to Chicago, I think his star power kind of went away a little bit. I don't know what it is about Wrigley Field or Chicago, but it can be a tough place to play. Dansby Swanson's another guy that went there, and I feel like he kind of faded away. They're still great ball players, but the Cubs, I think something's weird about the Cubs. I don't know what it is. It's just odd to me. So I think the Diamondbacks are going to be able to get a couple wins in Chicago or against Chicago in Arizona. I also wanted to touch a little bit on the Braves and the Padres, where we will see Chris Sale taking on Michael King on the mound. I think King is unbelievable. He is a stud, and I think the Yankees made a very, very, very big mistake letting him go. But in order to get Juan Soto, they had to pretty much give up the farm, and it got him to the World Series, but it didn't win him a ring, which that's the problem. When you give up that much and you don't win a ring, I think that ends up being bad for you, especially since they weren't even able to retain Juan Soto and re-sign him. Just not a very good move overall. I loved Juan Soto. I thought he was awesome in a Yankee uniform, and I love him as a player. I think he's a great ball player. I think he's going to do great things with the Mets. But when it comes to trading for a player like that, you expect to win, and you didn't. So I think because of that trade, this is a loss. And the Padres, I think, are going to have a very successful season in the NL West. They're not going to win it because they got to beat the Dodgers. And that I don't know many teams that are going to be able to beat the Dodgers. I really don't. They're unbelievable, and they're very, very scary. In terms of statistics, that is. I'm sure they're all very, very nice people and very easy to talk to. Not scary at all. But you get the point here. But overall, opening day is on Thursday. It is going to be a beautiful, beautiful day, March 27th, I believe. I cannot wait, and I hope you all enjoy all the baseball you possibly can all season long. And make sure you check in every single week right here on Scorebook Stories and stay up to date with everything going on in the MLB. And we might even get a little bit of minor league talk coming here and there as some of these top prospects make their MLB debuts. Make sure you give us a follow over on our Instagram, X, and Facebook at 7 Mountain Sports, and subscribe right here on YouTube to stay up to date with all things happening in the sports world with baseball and Scorebook stories right here. You can also watch Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the voice of Penn State men's basketball and football, and sports in general with 7 Mountain Sports on demand.